This is Sparta!
Hi guys, it's Del here from Spartan Racing. So normally I don't put up full race videos because I find them just insanely boring and to sit there watching people just driving around in circles. But this one's interesting. It's a replay of a race I did a few days ago, and what it actually was racing in the F3 around the Montreal track, and this track is carnage. For want of a better word, it's a really tricky track, especially the first couple of corners. And what I did with this is I did one race where I just got absolutely wiped out in the first corner, and I thought, well, the second race, what I'm going to do is start from the pits and then see how I go. So this was a top split. There was 27 people in the race, and I thought, well, I'm going to start from the pits and just slowly work my way through. And I was quite surprised as to where I actually finished on this race, purely just out of being consistent and not trying to win the race on the first corner, which seems to be becoming more and more prevalent. If people just realise that the first lap or two, cold tyres, everybody should just, if they could just slow down a bit and just let the first couple of laps go and people spread out, and you get a much better race and everybody gets a really good chance. But this kind of goes to show what can happen if everybody just goes gangbusters. So let's have a little look at this and we'll see what happens. It's what I'll do is I'll play part of the race till I get to a certain point, and then I'm going to skip forward and sort of try and stay with most of the action, because there is a section in the middle of this that gets a little boring. Now, this is a replay. I usually race in VR with a motion sim. That's why I don't record anything live, because it can become very distracting with the screen moving around a lot and become quite nauseating. And the FOV on this is not correct. I realise that. But again, it's just a recording because I use VR. So I don't really have my screen set up correctly for the correct FOV, but you'll see all the action as to what's going on and get to see what happens when nobody's patient. Okay, so let's get out there and give it a go. So just wait for the timer to count down. Now, unfortunately, you won't be able to hear all the swearing and cursing and everything that's going on from people complaining, which I really don't want to have that on the channel. But there was some pretty fruity language, and some people were pretty upset. And you'll see this right from the very start. So we're just coming out from the pits now and joining the race. So we're about probably 6 or 7 seconds behind. And here we go. Look at this first corner carnage. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cars, and we've already gone well up into a good position. Now, you guys can't hear everyone complaining coming through the voice chat because it doesn't record, but it really there's some really awful language there. As you can see from the guy in front of me, just brake checked me on that corner, so this is the sort of thing we're kind of putting up with. But again, I've sort of looked at a lot of the guys who are really good on iRacing have got high IR. I think a lot of it's more due to consistency rather than just being damn fast. Now, speed doesn't hurt, obviously, but consistency is going to pay off a lot more. It's not just about pure hot lapping. It's about being consistent, staying on the track, reducing your errors, and really just focusing on getting around the track the safest way possible. So I'm just going to check what position we're in right from the start, and we're in position 25th, it says. But once we go across the line, you'll actually see the position change, and the position now is 10th. So I've gone from literally 27th to 10th in one lap. Okay, so and I can actually hear through my headset that I've got on, all the complaining that's going on, and believe you me, it's not pretty. So 15 or 17 places in one lap. So this was actually it was really nice. I think there's another car off here. Yep, there's another one. So there's another place. That puts us into 9th. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to skip ahead a little bit, and we'll rejoin this when we're up to a few more cars. Okay, here we are back again, and we're a couple of more laps into it, and we've got a couple of light lads up the front here. We're going to see what happens with these guys. So we'll just check that position. Yep, still in 9th. So again, like I've mentioned before, if you can just work on your consistency, you'll actually pay much better dividends. Now, oh, there goes one. Just giving us another spot, so let's put us up in 8th. Now let's track down number 7. So most of the lap times I'm getting around here are not up there with the really quick guys, so sort of 133s and 132s. A lot of the fast guys are doing 130s and 131s, but that's all well and good, you know, if you can stay on the track and you don't get run into. So this guy was actually a really good guy. You'll see down at the last straight, he actually let me go past because I did have a bit more pace than him, and he was sort of being smart in the fact that sometimes it's better to get a good second or third than what it is to try and kill yourself to get first. As you can see, I went past him really quick. He actually pulled back. I said thank you, and he was actually really good about it. There we go, there's another 1, 2, 3 that have taken each other out, and that's given me a break to take my time, and as you can see I didn't rush through. So let's just check our position now, and you'll probably find once we go through the start finish line we're probably going to be up in about 4th. So we'll run this around and we'll check that position again. But yeah, in a lot of races what I do is if somebody's chasing me down and I know that they've got a bit more pace than me, even if I'm in a podium position, I'll still always give up that spot, unless it's the last lap. The last lap I'll tend to fight for it a bit harder, but I try not to block people or try to be a bit of an idiot on the track, because like I said, it's more cases than not you will actually tend to cause more grief and dump your race if you really just keep trying to stop people from getting past who are quicker. And like I mentioned before, I'd rather have a really good 5th than fighting for say 3rd and then end up coming last. So sometimes you just have to sort of take the high ground, I guess. So let's have a look at the position we're in now. So we're in 5th. Okay, so I'm going to skip forward ahead again and until we get up to some more cars and see how we finish. Okay, so we're up to lap about 15 now. We've got 4 guys ahead of us. I think one of them's a car that's been lapped, so he does give up the place, which was again the right move. But let's just see what happens with these dudes. There is a bit of a coming together, but there's a bit of a mistake here. Allows me to slow down a few cars, allows me to get through. So I've got now in front of me, I've got 4th and 3rd, I think, or let's see when we get over the line as to who we are, but you'll see what happens here with pressure being put on, outbrake themselves, and boom, over the edge, takes the other car out, and thank you very much. And as we pass over the line, you'll actually see what position we ended up in here. And so we ended up in 2nd. So that's pretty much how the race finished, from literally 27th to 2nd, with not really overtaking many cars. It was overtaking them, but they were, they decided to park by the side of the road and have a bit of a picnic. So again, just to sort of reiterate what I was talking about before, just consistency and taking your time and letting the crazies go, but just again, those first 2 laps are crucial in most of these races. It's getting the tyres warm, getting a feel for what other people are doing, and you'll find that you'll actually come out of it better off. I think I've actually won and got more podium positions by just staying out of people's way than what I have just sort of battling and really pushing hard for a win. I mean, I still do push hard for wins. I still do battle, but there's sometimes when you're in a race and you just kind of know that somebody's going to really give it a good nudge. In a lot of cases, it's just better to let them go and get out of the way. And you'll if you get in a split like this, like a top split, and the guys in here with really high IRs, and you'll start working your way through and really push to try and be able to get a consistent position, then you'll find that you'll actually start gaining more and more IR. The other thing too is when these guys with the high IRs come off at the beginning of the track, at the beginning of the race, and they're a number of laps down and can't get back, by the time you finish at the end of the race, you'll actually get a lot of their IR, and so you'll gain more. So I think on this race, I think I gained something like 70 IR. So it does come down a lot to just seeing what races you're in and building up your IR, and it'll get you through your licenses. It'll get you through. It'll get you into higher splits, and and that's just the way I kind of approach it. Anyway, so I hope you guys like that, and I'd like to say again, thank you so much for the subscriptions and the very nice comments and a lot of the questions, and also like to thank a lot of the other people on the channel who help out with comments and their opinions. They're all valued. So thanks very much, and I'll talk to you again soon.